All right, we live here. Started our live there. Going live on TikTok. Um, this will be different. Let me see if I can do this. But yeah, this is what we do on Sundays.
This 1 minute teamwork is all tangy. Pineapple gives you 88% of the daily vitamin C.
So
Because I'm an S.
this is what we'll continue to do. This is what we do every Sunday. You can promote your lives. I didn't even know you could do that also, but not something I probably plan on doing. But you know, at least this I still can't get it to actually put the chat information. Basically, if I'm chatting on the other side, it's not allowing me to chat on this side for some reason. But this is just like the regular Sunday iteration. This is something I always do. I am streaming live on TikTok and I am on YouTube currently. Most of the time, this is a YouTube thing I do, but since I'm able to do it on TikTok now, I figured might as well try to see if I can get more people because I do most of it on YouTube. But if people gravitate over there, that'll work also. So thing is basically this is just basically a Q&A session for people to join in if you're a veteran or know of any veterans that have any issues with their disability ratings, their entitlements, needing to learn their entitlements, needing to learn any of that information. I'm just basically here to try to assist veterans in doing that. Also, we're working on, creating a little community to basically help that. But this is what we do on a weekly basis every Sunday. Vin, thank you for the likes to the live. But this is something we do every Sunday. We just talk to veterans. If veterans have questions, it's a Q&A session. You have a question on any kind of topic, I'm here to try to assist you. If I don't know the answer, the whole point is to try to work till we get that answer. So that's the whole point of this, basically, is to make sure we could do that and just make sure people are able to get the information about the benefits that they basically worked for and are entitled to. Many veterans, that's the big issue, is that most people don't know where to go to get their information. And that's where it's just like, I'm here to just try to be that buffer zone because a lot of people tend to have it. A lot of people tend to have the issue where they cannot get the correct resources when they are leaving the military. So since they're leaving the military, they don't get the correct resources. They don't find the information, or they aren't told the information, and it causes issues for veterans to be outside of the military. The biggest thing for me is I hate the fact that we have homeless veterans. That's the biggest thing for me. So that's one thing I like to try to avoid and try to have an influence on, because there's a lot of benefits and stuff that can help a veteran stay out of the streets or be homeless, especially when you have like times like this when it's can you play my favorite song? I don't really play music on these, Sean. I don't know how music works on TikTok, so, and I definitely can't do it since I'm multi-streaming to YouTube, so I'm not trying to get the thing flagged. But I appreciate you stopping by and asking, but I don't play music. But that's the whole thing. To basically try to assist veterans. That's the main thing here. We got too many homeless veterans. We got veterans that are hurting, are dealing with cancers, are dealing with different issues, and it's just trying to get them more information and availability to understand, like, hey, there are resources out there for you, meant to help you, meant to assist you, meant to, yes, I am in the USA. But that's the difference between it. Like I said, I do this every Sunday at 12 noon Central Time, Central Standard Time, which is in the U.S. Central Time. In case you're somewhere else, but it's just an opportunity that I have to be able to speak to people on the issues I went through, issues a lot of veterans for military. But that's the thing is Vin, I appreciate that. If you have the resources, I would greatly appreciate it. The only difference is that a lot of the resources, like through Veterans Affairs, aren't the same as in Canada. So basically, the resources is difficult for service members here in the States to get the resources that they need outside of the U.S. So it makes it a lot more difficult. Like the resources are always helpful, but thing is that they don't always get them. They're not aware of them. Like a lot of the stuff I found out, Trump is your leader. We must obey. Okay, Jack Tripper. But that's something that just happens. It's just like a lot of veterans when they become veterans aren't aware of all the stuff that they're able to use. Like there's school benefits, there's a GI Bill for people to go to school and not have to not pay for it. There's employment benefits where basically you get a preference for certain job types. There's education. There's more education benefits that actually can be assisted for your family members also. There are some online that are helping men with mental health. Yes, that is also one of the big things that I tend to try to talk about. I do have mental health issues myself, so I try to speak on that and try to get veterans to get help. Due to the fact that a lot of the times veterans don't think that they need to, or sometimes it's looked down upon from them to get the resources that they need. So it's more of a, how can I enable veterans to get assistance, or how to guide them to the right places to get them to get assistance. Not everywhere, not all the states are the same. Someone looking at a second. That's totally fine, because it's to help assist veterans. That's men and women. It's to help both, because both go through different situations. They deal with different issues, and it's just like trying to assist them in the best way possible, because everything is different. And like I said, each state is different. So you have the federal level benefits, and those federal level benefits basically assist at a like blanket level. Then when you go to each state has its own veteran benefits. So I'm working also on a spreadsheet that basically has all that information, so that people are aware, like, hey, in their state, some people have like property tax exemptions. Some people have just like tax exemptions in general. Like some people don't pay state income tax. Some people, when they retire, they don't get their their retirement pay taxed. The VA benefits are basically tax free. So basically any compensation that anybody gets for their disabilities is tax free. The thing is there's also other stuff that adds to it that a lot of people don't understand. It's just like a lot of people don't understand that a lot of this comes from people being disabled, people not being able to function the regular way, people always on medication, people always dealing with just issues that are not always visible to the regular eye. So that's something that people need to like keep in mind and stuff, and try to pay mind to, that not all veterans have a visible disability. Like people have disabilities where it's just like, hey, some you've seen veterans lose limbs, stuff like that. Then there's other issues that are sometimes it's like mental health issues, like PTSD, depression, anxiety, dealing with insomnia, stuff like that. Some of those things people don't get to actually view and don't actually get to see them. Kelly, blah, blah, blah. Hi. So that's something that is just like trying to make sure people understand that there is a lot of visual stuff that people don't see, don't expect, and don't understand. Like a lot of veterans are misunderstood sometimes because of the fact that some of them deal with PTSD. Some people tend to shy away from those veterans and stuff like that because they think like they're a problem or something like that. And that's a misconception that people have, because some people tend to think that it's like, oh, veterans are hurting, or I wouldn't say like they're visibly hurting. So when people see a veteran, it was like, oh, they're disabled. They just expect somebody to be like limping or walking with a cane or in a wheelchair or whatever the case may be. But the case is that a lot of veterans don't deal with stuff that is all visible. Like I said, mental health issues is one of the biggest things that veterans deal with. We have issues within the military now where we have a high suicide rate within people. So that's something that we got to try to like minimize, but it's also giving people the awareness to know that those things do happen. People do deal with mental health issues. People do deal with back issues, knee issues, reproductive issues, just like muscles, back. Like it's so many things that people don't understand when they don't haven't dealt with the situation, and also haven't been a part of the situation to understand like there's certain ailments and stuff that people can't regularly see, and a regular day person will not be able to comprehend because they've never gone through the situation. So that's something that people need to understand, because it's like you deal with a lot of things. Like everybody deals with stuff. There's no difference. Every person has their own ailments. Everybody has their own things that they deal with, their own stressors, their own triggers. The thing is that sometimes for veterans, it comes across a bit different because you deal with it in a different way. The same way that a regular person would go and see a doctor, that's not the same way the military person may see it. It's sometimes difficult to go get help because you've been told that you may be weak, or you are not good enough, or it's always. Yes, and that's what I try to do with people, is just like try to give people a breakdown and try to give people more information as to what it is with veterans dealing with mental health issues. Like this weekend alone. This weekend alone is Memorial Day weekend. For a lot of people, it is just a 3-day weekend. Most people don't understand the actual reason behind the holiday, or why it is that you're actually getting the days off. The day of Memorial Day is basically to remember all those service members that passed away during service or died during service. That's what the Veteran Memorial Day is. It's not a day for celebration. It's not a day for stuff. It's basically remembering and honoring all those veterans and all those service members that lost their lives while in service. So for a lot of people, like I said, for a lot of people, it's a, go barbecue, go hang out, kind of like start of a summer kind of celebration kind of thing. But for a lot of veterans, there's a lot of veterans that have lost people while in service, while they were serving. And people need to understand that it's not a celebration for them. Most of these people may spend, you will see a lot of veterans at cemeteries over the weekend, because they go and they try to go see that person that they might have lost while in service. Sometimes it was in combat, sometimes it wasn't in combat. But those are people that they try to honor and remember. So people need to understand that it's not always about just, hey, we're gonna drink up, we're gonna party, we're gonna barbecue and stuff like that. So people need to understand that that's one of the reasons for that. And like this week, this is one of those weekends that it's like it's good to check up on veterans, see how they're doing. If you know any veterans, just check up on them, see how they're doing. Even if it's their family, check up on their family just to know exactly what is going on. Because the thing is a lot of people, tend to just like celebrate the day. And that's where we kind of like fall behind as a society, because most people don't understand that. Most people, like I said, most people just take it as a extra day off. Most people don't understand that why we have the day off. Veterans understand why we have the day off. Veterans understand, and some understand more than others, because like I said, they lost somebody while in service. I've been around people that lost people in service. I lost people in service. And it's a day of remembering them and honoring them, but that's also a toll on mental health that most people don't understand. And they don't, not that I'm not going to say that they don't appreciate, but it's something that a lot of them don't see and get the capabilities of knowing what goes behind it. So like if you go to your local, cemetery, or even if it's a military, cemetery, you'll probably see a memorial on there. Most of the time you see all the flags get put on their tombstone or on their headstone. Those things get put on there, and that's stuff that people need to understand, that it's just like, yes, it is a day for, honoring people. So if you see people celebrating, you'll see veterans drinking or pouring out liquor or pouring out their drink in respect to the person that they lost while in service. So it's a difficult weekend for people to deal with and comprehend with, and a lot of people don't understand that. So that's why it's just like, for me, this this iteration of the thing, yeah, the meaning has been lost with. I would say the meaning has been lost because a lot of people don't understand. Like a lot of people just say Memorial Day, and then they see Veterans Day, and then they see Armed Forces Day. What's the other one? There's like another one that is just like it's a day off, but people don't understand what those meanings are and what it is that they're doing. So like Armed Forces Day is a celebration of like celebrating all the armed forces. So basically all the military branches. It's like a day for them to be recognized. You have Veterans Day. Veterans Day is basically for any veterans that are veterans. Basically, you went through the service, you got out, you're a veteran. It's a day to recognize all those service members that went to the military, got out. Memorial Day is to remember of the honoring and the remembrance of those that sacrificed. I wouldn't say that they like sacrificed, but they lost their lives while in service, whether that be the Vietnam era, the Korean War era, the Desert Storm era, the Afghanistan, Iraq era. All those times are there, and that's people that it keeps on happening. People need to understand that there was a lot of loss of life. When it comes to war and being in the military, you lose people, whether it's while in service in a combat zone, or even sometimes you lose people just in like, I probably don't hear it as much, but it's like training exercises. You have people that get lost in training exercises because a vehicle flipped over or there was something that went wrong. So that's stuff like that that people need to, I guess, realize and understand that there's the meanings are lost in translation because people just see it as a day off. But there's not a big thing for people to actually like, hey, let's make this known as the reason why it's Memorial Day. Because you don't really see, like, even in the news outlets, you don't really see people talking about it like, oh, this is the reason why. This is the reason why we are celebrating Memorial Day, which, like I said, it's not really like a celebration. But the news outlets don't say that. Most of the time, it's just like, hey, be safe. Don't drink and drive. Don't burn the barbecue. Don't light yourself on fire, stuff like that. So it's just like, okay, you're telling me all the stuff I shouldn't be doing, but not explaining to me why it is that I actually get the day off. And for a lot of people, sometimes they don't really care why they get the day off. It's just like, oh, I got the day off. I'm cool with that. I'm not losing anything by gaining the extra day off. So yeah, that's something that people need to understand, that Memorial Day is a day of remembrance and honoring. Because I wouldn't say that the meaning of it is being withheld, because that would mean just people just don't want to talk about it or don't want to say anything about it. But I do believe it is being lost in the fact that it's just like people are just enjoying the fact that they got a day off, which is something that you did get the day off. But you got to remember why you got the day off. There's tons of other holidays and tons of other stuff that people don't realize that happens, but it's something good for people to know, like, hey, this is something there, and it's just like an education factor. And that's kind of like what I tend to do. Like I said, I do Q&As with disabilities. I am myself a disabled veteran, and I tend to assist, and I've assisted plenty of people already on just how to get better benefits or how to increase their rating and stuff like that. So it's just like trying to enhance the capabilities of people, trying to enhance the knowledge of people, trying to get people to understand that there is benefits, there are entitlements, and that they are not alone. Because the thing I think a lot of people tend to deal with, and a lot of veterans tend to deal with, is the fact that they feel that they are alone once they get out of the military. So they don't see it as, oh, I've gained something. Like most of the time, most of those veterans have mental health issues because they got used to living a certain way. They got used to having their buddies around them. They got used to having like a friendship and a camaraderie that you just don't really find in the regular. You don't really find it in regular places. So that's something that is just like you gotta understand, and people need to view that as like, hey, okay, there's a bunch of veterans. There's a lot that are dealing with a lot, and like I said, most people don't understand what a veteran goes through. It's basically, it's basically for some it goes to the point where it's like, hey, you had a job and literally people just like kicked you out the job and don't give a shit about you, which happens in the civilian world. But the thing is like you get so used to certain things within the military that it makes it different when you are actually out of the military. Within the military, it's like, hey, you got your buddies. You already know, hey, we about to do some dumb stuff. Okay, let's do some dumb stuff. And it's like you go through it, but you build that relationship with people because they're with you. They understand that. They're just like, you know what? We got to get this over with anyway. So they get it done. But the thing is in certain manners, in certain ways, it doesn't really operate like that. Like once you get out, you don't have those people that you keep on going with. Because the thing is the crazy thing that a lot of people don't understand is just like within the military, most of the time, you join the military and you are around people, let's say, for 3 years. So you're around people for 3 years. Oh, damn. You're around people for like 3 years, and then you end up being moved to another installation or another base or something like that. And the thing is that takes a toll on a lot of service members, and a lot of people don't understand that. It's like having you grew up with your best buddy, right? And the crazy thing about the military is that it happens in this way. It happens in the way that it's just like, hey, you get to a new location. You don't know nobody. You're hesitant. You know, you start making friends. So you start making friends, like I would say maybe around like that 1.5 year mark to 2 year mark. And then from there till you're about to leave, you are hanging out with these people. You are going to party with these people. You're doing training exercises with these people. Some people have kids. Some people have like family parties, and then you're invited to a family party, and we got barbecues. You go out and hang out, and then next thing you know, you reaching that 3 year mark, and then they're like, "Oh well, you got to move." So you just made this great friendship with a bunch of people and a couple of people, and then next thing you know, that gets spread apart, and then you get shipped off to another location. A lot of the times with a lot of those service members, you don't see them again in the military. For some, you end up in the same area sometimes, but for a lot, you don't see them again. You spend your time in the military and it's just like you don't see that person that you used to hang out with. Like now they got kids, and it's just like, damn, I'm basically an uncle without knowing I'm an uncle, or without saying I'm an uncle. But when you go to a family thing or you see them, it's like, oh, that's Uncle Cruz. And it's that takes a toll on people, and people don't understand it. It's just like you're moving constantly every like 3 to 4 years, but you make relationships with people that last a lifetime. But those relationships it's not the same because, like I said, you're around people, you're hanging out with people. Like some of the best people I've known have come from the military, my time in the military, and I spent 10 years in the military, and like some of those people is just like you have relationships that is just like you don't have with a regular friend. Like I try to ask people like how many people are able to just, you know, borrow somebody's car, no questions asked, nothing. Jordan, my man, what's up? Appreciate the likes. That's one of my good friends right there. Jordan is a person that I worked with, that I was in the military with, and that's one of those people that you can hang out with. If he ever needed anything, I got him. And that's just like, it's just like that relationship gets built within the military, where a lot of places don't have that. A lot of places, like a regular day job, you are not going to find people that you could just like hang out with and just kick it with and nothing. And it's just like, Kayuke, we just chatting here, doing some veteran talk, and that's mostly it. It's just like you build those relationships with people, but people don't understand. It's just like like I said, you build a relationship with people, and then after 3 years, you get separated from them. Some of them you don't see again. Like I worked with Jordan, 3 years in Hawaii? Not even 3 years. That was like 2 years, maybe a year and a half. that I worked with him, and now I'm still cool with him, hang out with him, play video games with the guy, but it's just like I haven't seen him again. It was like it's like you split to different areas, and it's just like you go to different places and you don't even realize what's going on. And it tends to happen a lot with the military, but people don't understand that. When you have like a civilian job, you get cool with people, but then, you know, some people are still in your neighborhood or still in your where you live at and stuff. And that stuff is see, still my brother, see? And that's the thing. It's just like it's a different mentality when it comes to those people, because it's just like, appreciate you, my man. And that's something that a lot of people don't get and a lot of people don't understand. Like, that's something that happens a lot with people in the military. You build those friendships and stuff like that. That is just like, you see that their kid has a birthday. You're like, happy birthday, kid. Some of them you haven't met. Some of them you have met. Some of them you've seen grow since they were like babies and now they're like teenagers. And you're just like, damn, I remember when you were just like, you just came out the womb and stuff like that. So it's always interesting, and it's always good to see that, because you see all that stuff and you build that relationship with people. But then that same relationship, when it comes to like Memorial Day, is just like a lot of those people were lost. So that same relationship you have with that person and they die in service, it takes a toll on people that people don't understand, and they don't. I'm not sure, because it's like you losing a family member that you weren't even blood related to. And that's what a lot of people don't understand with the military. You have a lot of people that are just like family. People become family in the military, and it's just like it becomes a heavy toll on people when it comes to that. So people just need to understand that and don't always comprehend that. It's just like the people that you find in the military are some of the finest people you will ever find. And the thing is just like most of the time it's people that come from backgrounds that you never even thought you would hang out around, or places that they come from that you never even thought you would even go to. Like shit. I've lived in Kansas, California, Hawaii, Germany. I'm from New York City. And I've worked with and met people from Arizona, Iowa, Ohio, Florida, Texas, Louisiana. Like you find people from all across the states. I met people Cambodia, of the Philippines. Like you find so many people from all over the place, and it's just like it opens up your eyes to all the stuff that's out in the world. Like you get to see people and you get to meet people that you didn't even realize could exist, or just like you start eating like because I saw it was like somebody posted it. I think it was like a meme or something, and it was just like, yeah, you have your white friend that is here in the country boots, but he's putting on a hat on a Mexican dude, which is cooking some like menudo or something, and then that dude is like putting on some music that the Filipino guy understands, and he's singing with it. And it's just like, it's like all these different people just like connecting into one group. And it's just like, people don't understand that. Like the people, like the group I hung on with, we call ourselves the Four Horsemen in Germany. It was me, I'm Spanish, I'm Dominican, American, my boy, Mexican, the other one, Filipino, and the other one, Mexican/Dominican. And then we had a Cambodian also. And this is just a mix of people. So it's like when you would go out in Europe, and it's just like you see a group of four randomly situated dudes. It's just like, who the fuck are these guys? Like, what is going on here? It's just like, where did these people, like, these people having a good ass time. But it's just like, this is a random combination of people, because it's like we all look different. I'm the darker one. One was like a little bald. The other one that was like Filipino, and the other one looked like he could pass for an Italian or something like that. And you just have that mix of and group of people just walking around, partying, having a good time, and just like, where are these people from? And then you tell them they're American. You're American, and it's just like, oh, makes sense. And then you're confused. It's like, what do you mean makes sense? It's like, this shit doesn't happen all the time when you see people mix like that, but that's something that is just like people don't understand. So it's just like it's hard to explain to people like what the military can be and how it changes people and how it affects people, because a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people don't see it. But it's cool because it's just like you get to meet people from, like I said, all over the country. Sometimes you meet people from all over the world. And sometimes you get to work with people from all over the world in different parts of the world that you probably never thought you would experience. I got to work with the British Army a couple of times, and that was just something, an experience. It's just like you get to run into, British people here and there, but you never actually get to work with them and their military and see how they operate, and then see and notice that a lot of the dumb shit that you do, they do also. So that's something that's always interesting to see, because it's just like you see all those different facets of the military, and you see different environments, but you also see how it connects all, even though it's the military. Everybody has the same things going on. It might just be certain, there's differences, of course, but it's just still the way the approaches to things and stuff like that is still the same thing. It's just different levels and different scales to it. But it's just that's the military. But like I said, we here just to chit chat with people, talk, help people with disability. If y'all know any veterans, anything, send them my way. I'm willing to help. I don't charge no fees. I don't do none of that. Once if I get accredited, then I'll probably start charging people. But till then, it's just like, this is just, I don't believe people should pay to know their benefits, because the benefits are out there. So that information that they need and the information they're looking for is readily available. So to charge somebody for something that's already free, I just find it to be crazy. I just find that to be a crazy thing to do. Like, oh, I'm going to charge you for this, but it's free. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of hard to try to tell people like, oh, okay, I'm going to charge you this amount for information you can get online. Just because I'm giving it to you, I'm going to charge you. Shit don't make no sense to me. And it's just like, we're all veterans. We should just be helping each other out. But there's, companies and stuff like that try to take advantage of veterans because they don't know what's going on. They don't know the information. They don't know how to, how would I say? They don't know how to figure out what the hell is going on. And a lot of them got used to the fact that while in the military would give them everything. The military would give them a place to live in. The military would provide them with electricity. They wouldn't have to pay for it. A lot of people don't understand it, and a lot of people don't view it in that way. So that's something that people need to understand, that it's just like, hey, this happens a lot with veterans. People don't understand. It's like, if you see a veteran, ask them how his day was. What a lot of people do is like they hit you with the thank you for your service. And you can ask a whole bunch of veterans. We usually don't know how to respond to that shit, because it's like, thank you for your service. And it's just like, oh, thanks, I guess. It's just like, so it's just like, it's like the biggest thing that a lot of people do is just they'll be like, oh, I just tell people I appreciate, thank you for the support. That's what I tell people. If you're saying thank you for my service, thank you for the support. Because a lot of people don't appreciate the military. A lot of people don't like the military at times. So it's just like when somebody says, hey, thank you for your service, it's just like we're confused, because it's like, hey, we volunteered for this. So it's not like, it's weird sometimes when we get thanked for it, but military people do enjoy it at times also. I'm not gonna lie, because when you get upgraded to like first class or something, you're welcome. You're welcome for my service. That's just like, does it curve to the left? Okay, see, so now I've learned. Hold on, let me see. Now I've learned that basically anybody that comes into the chat just basically says something stupid, I just report. I ain't wasting time anymore. Because like I said, it's always somebody that has some accounts that don't have nothing, that don't really have any following or anything like that, that always want to come and say something like that. See, and it's always like this. The funny thing is just like, so that Jumaine Nation, if it weren't for the fact that I would probably roast you and you would get upset about it and then probably report me, that's why I've learned I'm gonna just ignore y'all. The thing is I appreciate you tuning in. You're sticking in the channel. Thank you for giving me the views, and thank you for putting comments in that boosts up my live. So I appreciate you. So that's all it is. It's just like people think it's just like, oh, okay. And it's that simple. It's just like I don't gotta worry about people anymore like that, because it's just like, you know, you got people that join in. But yesterday, so Jordan, yesterday when I was streaming and I was roasting the shit out of people back, people ended up reporting me. So the people ended up reporting me when I was roasting them back because they was trying to be, you know, trolls in the thing. They actually reported me, and while I was live streaming, like the second time later on in the day, TikTok actually suspended my shit. They just like literally cut my shit off. Like midstream, they just said, "Oh, you've been reported for a violation or a strike or whatever." They cut my shit off, and it was just like, "Oh, you won't get your privileges back for like a day." And I was just like, "What the fuck?" I was just like, "Hold on." And then the funny thing was, it was just like I responded and I appealed it, and then I got my shit back. So it's just like, so you can have people come into your stream. You have people that can come into your live. They can troll you. If you troll them back and they report you, you can still catch an issue for it. And I was just like, wow, that's kind of wild that somebody can come in and say something, and it's just like, because they got mad because I roasted them back, or their troll didn't work as they thought it would, and then they ended up blocking me for it. But you know, you got people that is just like, you got people that are just gonna come join to do that. But like I said, it's something that I guess you got to deal with while you're live. People are gonna be ignorant. People are gonna come and try to ruin what you're doing. So I've just learned now I'm not gonna be myself, which is basically trying to roast people back. See, some comments in this live were filtered to protect the community's experience. So they see the stuff. But the thing is like, let's say he goes and he reports me for whatever reason, they'll take it as, oh, I violated it, even though I didn't have to say anything. So that's something that's interesting. Never mind, it's grievous. Okay. But that's something that is just like, it's interesting to see with TikTok, that is just like, okay, if somebody's being disrespectful or being like, out, you know, out the box, that they can report you for actually going back at them, and you can get in trouble and lose your live privileges because of that. Otherwise, you know, you could just say something back, because, you know, I got a smart mouth. So like this dude there that came back, I just blocked him. I ain't got time to waste on that shit no more. I'm not gonna mess up my ability to earn on this app because somebody wants to act stupid. But like I said, Back to the talk about veterans, because that's what we here for. We ain't here for anything else. It's just veterans. Like, hey, if they need help, send them my way. Any veterans that need help or have any questions or any other case, just send them my way, so that way we can have a conversation, help them fix their disability issues, help them with their ratings. Oh, all right, y'all. I'm gonna have to cut this one short. Neighbor is here asking for assistance, so I will check you out later. Appreciate y'all. Jordan, thank you for stopping by. As always, my man, take care. Love you. Be good. I will see y'all later.